So good evening, everyone. How are we all doing? So I welcome everybody to ESM 308, and this will be a continuation of what we did last week. I think I mentioned last week that we are going to be looking into what valuation list is all about and its preparation. So as a way of introduction, oh, okay, sorry about that. So as a way of introduction, I so we can say valuation list is central to property rating administration. I think last week I made mention about it, but this week we'll be going like extensively to what valuation list is all about. So in a way, we can say that valuation list is what is an assessment role, or we can say it is a valuation role, that contains the list of all rateable properties in an area. I think last week there were some stages I listed out for you. And why do we need valuation list? Basically, we need valuation list for what? To ensure uniformity, to ensure transparency, and also fairness. To ensure fairness. And I was talking about enumeration last week. So the enumeration basically has a format and a form to follow. So while you preparing the location, the name, the rates that you will be using, so all that you are preparing, you can say everything encompasses of what? Details of rateable properties, including the owners. So what you have in your hand is called what? It's called evaluation list. It's called evaluation list. And so by definition, I told you last week that valuation list is what? Is a statutory document that is prepared by what? That is prepared by qualified qualified valuers, or the person can be a consultant as the case may be. And I would like to emphasize also that valuation list also contain a lot of information, such as the property, the assessed value, the ownership, and the rate paid. I mentioned this last week also. So your valuation list must contain what the details of the property extensively, the assessed value, the ownership, and also the rate payable. And to serve like a note of warning, you must also know that valuation list entails what? It entails a legal and professional tools. I said last week that it's not something you just sit at the comfort of your zone and say, okay, valuation list is something you start carrying market survey about. No. But the rate you are going to use is not something that is determined by you. It's statutory in a way. And when it is statutory, it shows that there are authorities that backs every of our activities up. And those authorities I made mention last week was that the local government municipal. And historically, we can say that in Nigeria, we can trace this to, I think, first to the urban centers, such as Lagos, Calabar, Kano. So the origination of valuation list started from, or the collation of valuation lists for the rating exercise started from Lagos, Calabar, and Kano. So if you look at this very well, you can see that in a way we can categorize Lagos to be what? To be the southwest, then Calabar, the eastern part, then Kano, the northern part. And also, if we familiarize ourselves very well with what tenement rate law is, we'll notice that various states also as their own tenement law. So this is also originated from our respective tenement rate laws in different states. And also by now, we know that we have been modernized, where we have different land use charges, different land use charges, different land use laws. For example, we have the one for Lagos. I'm very sure we have the one for Kano, Kaduna, and as the case may be. And then there are many lists remain outdated. You know, I said something last week that in most of our lists, enumeration is done probably every 2 years or every 5 years. So you don't just do enumeration now and wait to maybe next 10 years. No, it will shock you that there are some places where they are bare land, and in a couple of years, you start seeing what you start seeing properties, direction of properties, industries, even farmlands on it, So it is expected that with time we need to get our list was updated. Let's cross-check the one that the use is still valid and the one that the use that has been changed. And also we have various components. We have various components of evaluation list. I said it earlier that it must have was property identification. Property identification. And what do I mean by property identification? It shows that the property you're examining at least is in a location, and location is what very good and very paramount. So the first one is what is the address. So if it is possible for you to get the locational map and also the coordinates, very important. Then you need to describe such property in terms of types, in terms of the use, in terms of the size, in terms of the accommodation details or the constructional detail. And also any property that is being accessed, you have what either ownership or occupancy detail. So you must be able to tell them, oh, this person is the owner of this property, or this person is just an occupant. Just an occupant. Then the evaluation list must also contain what? An assessed value. An assessed value. I think we discussed this last week, which could be the annual rental value, the capital value, the site value, or the composite value, as the case may be. And also, the evaluation list, nothing is hidden. The rate that is used must be explicitly stated. And in case of any exemption, you should be able to state that, okay, the property that is located here probably is a church. You should be able to tell them, oh, this is exempted in paying what? In paying rates under you can quote whatever section you want to quote for better understanding. And also, there are steps to take also in preparing your evaluation. And this can be likely to what we discussed last week also. The first one we're considering is the property identification. Very important. Property identification. Okay, where is this property located? Where is it located? And also, inspection must be carried out. You must be able to inspect where the property is and also collect necessary data. collect necessary data. And the third method is the evaluation method that is being used. We discussed this last week also. There are various valuation methods that can be used. What kind of valuation method did you use? Is it investment? Is it cost method? Is it residual method? Depending on the property, what kind of valuation method did you use? And also, after you might have done your calculation, gotten your data, your own is to prepare a draft. A draft of the valuation is fine. It might not be the final one, but the only thing you have to do was you have to come up with a draft of how valuation list should look like or what it should entail. Then you can now go ahead with your notification. You prepare a demand notice to whoever you want to serve it to, either the owner or the occupier. And also, after serving it, some people might not be, pleased or okay with whatever you step, what do you need to do? I said it last week that there are rooms for what objection and appeal. There are rooms for objection and appeal, and there are also bodies that regulate that also. So if there are no objections, then you can say, okay, I think I can finalize and I can go ahead with what I have. Then the person can proceed to payment. And then why are we even preparing this valuation list, or why do we even need to prepare this valuation list? The first one is for fairness and equity. Having a valuation list shows that, oh, you are being what? Transparent. You are being transparent with whatever you are doing. Nobody is feeling cheated. Everybody knows what is going on. Everybody knows what is going on. The rate is there, the value is there, the method at which this was adopted to is there. And also, we are preparing it because it is statutory. It is expected of us to prepare it. It is expected for us to prepare it. And another objective is for revenue mobilization. For revenue mobilization, I said it last week also that the reason why we are doing all this is to be able to generate revenue for local governments at local level. And you preparing a valuation list also, it shows transparency and a little bit of what accountability. The people you are assessing their property, you are accountable to them. You are accountable to them. You also prepare valuation for dispute resolution, so that in case if anyone is displeased, whatever was served to him or her, there is something for you, there is a documentation for you to take to the court that, okay, this is the way it's being done, or how did you come about it? So instead of explaining what is not documented, which is not professional enough, then what are the importance of regular revision of this valuation list? Why is it important for us to keep checking or to keep modifying? The first one is because there can be change in the value, which is constant. There can be change in value as a result of what inflation, urbanization, or any improvement as the case may be. And also there can be a demographic shift and new development. There are some places where, for example, you see squatters, and at the end of the day, they ask them to live there and then, resettle them. When there is a shift in development, or probably you have a residential apartment in inappropriate area, and then the person is being said that should be what reflect in our valuation list to show that, oh, these people, they are no longer here. And also, why do we need to revise our valuation? We need to revise it to ensure what fairness between the whole and the new property. So old and the new property, definitely the rates you will use for and whole old property will be different from what you use for new properties. What you use for new properties, and properties that are being enhanced also should be noticed. Probably the other time you inspected it was probably the painting is fading off, and now there has been some improvement, like probably the painting has been done, the window has been changed, the door has been changed. So there is need. The importance is just for you to be able to know that, oh, there has been a couple of improvements in this kind of property. And also failure to revise this valuation is really to what reduction in generation revenue. We just notice that, oh, property is being erected yet nobody inspected it to ensure that, oh, this person is meant to probably pay a certain rate. This shows that the local government is what they are shorting themselves. So these are basically the importance of regular revision of valuation. And is there any challenge we can face in even in preparation of the valuation list? Yes, there is nothing that has good that doesn't have bad. So we can say there are some challenges in Nigeria we face in preparing what valuation list. So the first one is inadequate data and poor records. Inadequate data and poor records. We have shortage of qualified professionals. We don't have enough how do I call it, enough ends. Last week I was explaining some friends after getting the job, they need to partner with others. But some firms, as the result of greed, what would they do? They will just want just one person to take care of the whole street, which can weigh out and tiring at times. And also in Nigeria, we also face the problem of what? Financial logistics. We can't shy away from that also. Finance is the lifeblood of any investment. It's the lifeblood of any investment. So I know some people will be thinking like, oh, the money we are getting from this is not commensurate with the work we are doing. So we face financial constraint also. And also political interference. We know that some people that that have prestige in a way, just for them to cut down the rateable value. They will try to, probably they know one governor or one president, before you know it, one thing will lead to the other to ensure that they shall want to pay something, something low. And then that the last one I would like to discuss here is the enforcement difficulties. Because I know we have so many laws, but enforcing it is a challenge for us. And when you don't enforce it, what will happen? There won't be proper implementation. Then the rate at which you have the portals will be what? Will be high. And we have so many examples in Nigeria in respect of valuation lists. For example, we have the Lagos State, or the land use charge law. They do what you call periodic evaluation. I know of Lagos State, they are very consistent. Even the consultants, after 2 years, before you know it, the next 2 years, you've started writing your proposal already to bid for such job. And also, for your state also are there are some outdated lists. In Oyo State that needs. I know there has been a visit to ensure that they are being updated as that when due, and also to Abuja jurisdiction also, especially the one that for dispute resolution that happens between the HAMAC and the NCBA. So that, thank God for evaluation, that was able to put a blueprint resolution to the dispute. So in conclusion, I can say valuation is what? Valuation is very germane towards the property rating. You can't do property rating without what? Without an assessment of property. And when I'm talking about assessment of property, valuation. And you can't do valuation without you having a what? A valuation list. For what? In order to ensure fairness, legality, and efficiency. And also, this evaluation it helps you to overcome what? It helps you to overcome every challenges that might arise in your outdated rate, poor capability, political issues. Valuation it solves a lot of problems. And also, I would like to conclude that the key thing for valuation list is the theory and the practicability in applying it to what? To Nigerian context. Fine, I know it's something that's used in Nigeria, but you need to enforce it more. By sensitizing people about the importance of what valuation is as related to what? As related to rating exercise or assessment of property or property rating generally in Nigeria. And for emphasis sake, we have a couple of questions here that will guide you on your better understanding of what everything we've taught or we've discussed is, for example, at the end of this course, you should be able to what, define what evaluation is and also the importance. And you should be able to what, discuss the steps in preparing evaluation list and also identify some the discussed objective of what evaluation list and why is it expected of us to revise valuation list and also the challenges we face and how to overcome them. Thanks for listening. See you next week in class by God's grace. Enjoy the rest of the day and have a wonderful